Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are at. It's nice to see you. I'm Serena Jane, and welcome to the Serena Jane Show. I'm really excited for my guest today. So, if you're going to be chiming in, I really hope you bring on all of your questions and you bring your open heart and really hear the story of these two sisters. I want to explain how I met them and then how this all came about. Our kids go to the same school. And so I would drop off my older one and they would be coming back. So they obviously got there before I did. So we would always pass each other. And what caught my attention of these two ladies is that they were always smiling, always chatting. And I thought they were just best friends. And their story, their energy just pulled me in towards them. And then I just said, hi, I've noticed that you drop your children off to this school. My child goes here as well. And so then I got their names. And so now again, the next day we would cross each other. And then I said, hi, Martha. Hi, Melinda. And then they told me they were sisters. I'm like, oh my God, amazing. And then they know my name. And so then again, we would cross each other the next day. And this kept happening for the first few weeks of school. And it was amazing. And then finally, one morning after I dropped them, we happened to be there at the same time. I chatted them up and I said, okay, I have to get to know you two. You two have great smiles. You have fantastic energies. Who are you? And then they told me that they were sisters and that they're Hungarian, and they just spilled out their entire story within the next 5 minutes. And I was blown away. Now, this is a story that I really want. It's of real people with real lives and what they have gone through, and talk about grit and determination. They inspired me to want to share their story with you. Wherever you are, I really hope that you are inspired by this. It's not about just what they did, but it's the bigger picture of when you really want something, no matter what, you just got to go for it. I'm really excited to bring to you Melinda and Martha. Here we go. Hi, sisters.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. I'm really excited you guys are here. So, Melinda, say hi, Melinda.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Having
And
us.
this is Martha as well.
Hello,
So,
everyone.
your guys' smiles seriously captivated me, right? They pulled me in, literally. I mean, you must have thought, wow, who is this person talking to us? And I'm just really excited that you guys, we were able to meet the way that we did. And to me, that's all about community, right? Is just meeting
Yes.
people and getting to know one another. And
Absolutely.
it really creates lifelong friendships. And that's how we stick with one another. If I'm making this area my home, then you're going to be a part of my community, obviously. So I want to get to know everyone.
Absolutely.
I just got to give an introduction of how I met you two, and I'm just really excited to share your story. So just give me in a nutshell. You two. How are you guys? You two are sisters. Just tell me something about yourself. Go, Melinda. Go.
Marty, please go. You're the youngest.
Well, my sister and I, we've lived in the U.S. for over 40 years now. We immigrated actually from Transylvania. We're Hungarian ethnically, and been here in the U.S. for 40 plus years. As I said, my sister is, in a lot of ways, as I've gotten older, I believe that my sister and I are soulmates. We are yin and yang to each other. We must have been in past lives together some way, some shape or form. We complete each other. She's my best friend, like I said. We're always there for each other, always have. We always find ourselves in the same boat in some way, shape, or form. And I couldn't imagine life without her.
That's beautiful. Isn't that what sisters are all about? I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Melinda. Oh,
Now she's having technical issues.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. So I think it's awesome. I mean, I know that Melinda has also said that she is just extremely close to you and that you both have a beautiful relationship, which is awesome. Tell us about the fact that, Martha, are you married? Do you have children?
Yes, I am.
My apologies.
No worries at all, Melinda. So Martha, tell us.
So I am currently married. and we have, I should say, a beautiful little girl. She's 7, going on 14.
Awesome. Yeah, I know, right? Aren't they all? Girl power.
Yes.
Melinda, tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am 53 years old next month. Woohoo!
Yay.
And I'm proud of it. I've had a full life. And as my sister said, we came to the United States in 1980 as, foreigners, didn't speak any English. And, with old fashioned parents. But fast forward, we had hard and great experiences. And here we are as, mommies and women. Um, I'm single by choice. I've been married twice and divorced twice. It happens. It just, if it doesn't work out, you have to walk away, because happiness, whether it's with someone or alone, you have to stick to your happiness, whatever, works for you. And so, fast forward, I am a single parent to a wonderful, super duper 7-year-old. She's actually going to be 8 years old. We're only 5 days apart. She was actually due on my birthday. How sweet is that? And yes, I had her on my own through a donor.
Okay, wait, hang
from the
on.
male side.
Wait, let's not even give that away yet. Hang on. All right, so, so I,
Wait,
I am just excited because I think, let's just get straight to the point where, when you guys shared your story with me, right? Both of you have children. And Melinda, when you said to me that, I've tried having kids, my sister Martha was able to have children, as many as she wanted, right? That's just how her body worked, where if she could get pregnant today, she would. If she could get pregnant tomorrow, she could. That's just how
right.
her body works. And you shared with me that, it wasn't as easy for you, right? Getting pregnant was not as easy for you. And you obviously, talked about this with your family. So guide me through that. Tell me, what happened around that time when you wanted to have children, and then the process of it. You wanted to have kids, it wasn't happening. Then what did you do? Right? So you wanted to have children, right?
I apologize. The connection for me is a little bit weak. I didn't quite hear your last sentence. I apologize.
No, what I was saying was, guide us through that, right? You were married twice, divorced, didn't have children. I believe you've always wanted to have kids, from what you explained to me, right? You always wanted to have children, and you made it happen. But guide us through that. What was your thinking behind all of that? How all of a sudden do you have a kid? Like, what happened?
My story, sort of in a nutshell, it's a cute story. I often tell my 8-year-old. She's so bright and gets it. I must have been 38 or 39, and I think motherhood started sort of tickling me, so to speak. And I thought to myself, oh dear, I'm getting older. So, I'd love to have a baby. At the time, I was dating no one. I didn't even fancy anybody. And so I thought to myself, by the time I invest time to meet someone and date, and, what if we don't get along and he doesn't want to get married or have children? Here I am wasting another 3, perhaps 4 years, right? And I'm only getting older. So I said, well, how about doing this on your own? And years ago, I would say, how many years? She's 8 years old. So this is going on 9, 10 years ago. It wasn't such a fad, let's just say, as it is now. So even now, when I think back at it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this, but I'm so happy I did. And I decided, why not do this on my own? So my mom, being the Catholic woman that she is, I brought this idea up to her just to sort of feel her out. I mean, I had to take my family into consideration as well. Fast forward, I got her blessings and I started my journey. Well, this journey was one would hope. I did go to a sperm bank and, did my homework on the donor, et cetera, et cetera. But after many infertility, issues and failures and whatnot, I kept hitting a wall. It's just, I wasn't getting pregnant. And so with different issues, that a woman can go through. I think finally my doctor said to me, Miss Martone, at this stage in your life, I was already, I want to say 43 or 40, 43 years old. I'm advising you to either adopt or also buy eggs as you have the male side of the specimen. And so I went to my mom and my sister, and I told them what the doctor said to me. And I was devastated because by that time I wanted to be pregnant. I had spent a lot of money because the insurance doesn't cover it. I took out a loan. Thankfully, I had 401k. Fast forward, my sister looked at me and she said, "Wow, you want to have a stranger's eggs? Well, I'll give you mine. Heck, I'll even carry for you," because she knew my desire to want to have a baby and like, the pregnancy and everything. I said, "Oh dear, I could never do that to you." And besides, I want to carry it. Fast forward, I finally accepted her kind offer of giving me her eggs. I mean,
Wow.
and so obviously, next doctor's appointment and several doctor's appointments after that, she joined the meeting, and she was asked very severe questions. She even speak to a therapist, as I did too, and signed many forms to state that, yes, I'm willingly giving these eggs to my sister. And when she has babies, I am not the mother. I have nothing to do with them. I will not have remorse. I will not, and we were looking at each other as if like, oh my God, you're my sister. I would never do that to you. But again, protocols are very important because, a lot of mishaps and sad stories can turn from this, right? So
Yeah.
fast forward, I got her juicy eggs, as the doctor called it. They call them juicy. So we had a couple of very healthy embryos. A few miscarriages here and there. It was devastating, I have to say. If I didn't have my mom and my sister's support, I don't know where I'd be. And God, God helped me through a lot of tough times. And the last two embryos were implanted, and I was excited. I was hoping this one will work. And Lord and behold, I had two heartbeats. I nearly fell off the doctor's
Oh
chair.
my
I thought,
God.
oh, two babies at once. But I thought, whatever God throws my way, I'll take it willingly. Fast forward again on the following doctor's appointment. The little boy wasn't strong enough, so he went to heaven. And Serafina, my strong girl, survived. And
That's
yeah,
that's incredible, Melinda. The very fact that your
yes,
sister was able to honestly be right by your side, to be your donor, to give her to give you her eggs, and to carry forth, to do this all on your own. That's incredible. I mean, we always salute all the single mothers that are out there, right? Because it's hard. I know it's hard to do it.
it,
So when you don't have that partner in crime with you, I can only imagine, right? It is just very hard. But what I'm fascinated by is the fact that you actually purposely, right, took this chance and said, I want to have a child. And the person that was supposed to give you that egg was right next to you. I mean, you guys all, I mean, talk about, a support system right within the family.
yeah,
And
yes.
I think that's pretty incredible. A sister helping another sister out. Martha, when she didn't even approach you on this idea, you gave her the idea because I mean I'm sure it's the last thing that anyone would imagine, right? Can I have your eggs, my sister? Right? That's the last thing because it's too close to home. It's too close to comfort.
Right.
What were you thinking at that time?
To be honest with you, it wasn't even a second thought. Like as soon as she said uttered the words that her doctor had told her that either adopt or purchase eggs, it was a no brainer. I was like, well, hello, here I am. We're sisters. We share the same mother and father. We have the same genes. You can't get any better than that, right? I mean, like
Right.
I said, it was a no brainer. As soon as she said it, was like boom, here. Like I didn't have to stop and think, oh, should I not? Like it was just an automatic, oh, here are my eggs. Like it's to
Yeah.
me, it's like, if God forbid someone, I don't know, needs a kidney, and as as a family member, you happen to be a match and you donate your kidney. That's how I took this. I was just, I'm helping her out, and I was just it. It was, like I said, a no brainer. I just was, yeah, here it is.
Now, did you already have a baby by then?
No, I had
So
no children.
you had no children, and here you're like, let me just give my eggs to her, and then we'll see whatever happens in my life with my
Yeah.
own children.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty incredible.
I
What?
didn't, I'm sorry, I didn't have that heart desire as much as I guess my sister did about having children. Like, for as long as I can, remember back, my sister was always, I'm going to be a mommy, I'm going to have kids. Like, that was more her thing, more so than it was for me. So, I was just kind of like, whatever, I don't have kids. It's okay. Here, if you want my eggs, I'll give them to you.
No, that's incredible, Melinda. I mean, obviously, you're very lucky in this situation, right? To have a sister that's been able to do that for you. I was just blown away when you guys shared this story with me on the corner of the street that we spoke, right? I thought, wow, this is awesome that one, so many facets. One, you're a woman that said, let's just go do this on my own. That in itself right there is a mindset. There's a lot of women out there that I know that want to have children, that want to be married, want to have children, want a family, that traditional route. And most people will probably go the traditional route. It takes a lot of guts and courage to go this route that you've gone, right? To take on another human being, to take on a child as your responsibility without any partner in life. You know, I often within my own culture, I almost came close to that as well. I remember in the end of 2013 when I spoke to my mom, my sister, and my brother-in-law, and I did say, I've traveled around the world with my brand. I'm really excited. I love what I do. I love what I've created. I don't want to stop. But I do have this inner desire now to want to settle down and have children. And I had a heart-to-heart talk with them, and I did say, if I don't get married by the end of next year, I just want to put it out there to you guys that I may consider, having a child on my own. And my sister was on board. My brother-in-law was on board. They were very much willing to help me out. I never, we never even talked about eggs of that sort. But just to know that I had that support was huge. Of course, my mom was like, how can you think this way? Oh my God, are you crazy? That whole thing. I'm sure I would have convinced her. Um, but I put it out there. What's amazing is when you put it out there, things just then transform later. I happened to meet my
Yeah.
husband 6 months later, and then just whatever life took over after that. So my mom's like, thanks God that didn't happen. But if it did, I do tell her all the time, if it did, it would have been okay. I I think your story is pretty fascinating because I want women out there to know that sometimes it doesn't turn out the way that we anticipated, right? It doesn't turn out the way that this is how we grew up and this is how things are done. I think that goes with anything in life, right? With whether our work, our marriages, our relationships,
Mhm.
today you have a child and who knows what will happen in the near future, right? All we can do is just live in this moment right now
Oh my God,
and
yes.
make that decision to say, okay, this is where I'm at right now. And I think, Melinda, what you did was fascinating. This is where I'm at right now. I'm getting older. Let me assess. It's going to take time. I'm like, you logically thought this out and to put it out there and say, okay, I don't know where I'm at, but I really know that I want to have a child. And you went for it, which is to me, that's pretty awesome. And trials and errors later,
Thank
you had a
you.
baby girl. That's pretty awesome. And 8 years later, I mean, look at you.
It's a long, painful journey. I will not lie. And all the letdowns, every time you thought, okay, this month, okay, this month, the doctor calls you in the office as my boss is standing at my desk telling me, I'm so sorry, Miss Marton, is another failed cycle. And I just want to scream and cry, but I have to hold it together. I need my job because I need the insurance. I need money, And so all of that was so worth it. The minute, our eyes touched, it was on my chest when they took her out of my belly. So I would do all that again to have her. And I want also people to know that it doesn't make you a bad person or any different just because you're not living that cookie cut, lifestyle of marriage. It's okay. It's at the end of the day, you have to make yourself happy and everyone else will fall into place and will understand, especially when they find out your desire for wanting this baby, your desire for whatever it is that you want to accomplish, like, I don't know, open your business or start a franchise or whatever it may be. People will adhere to it, will accommodate themselves and be support. And heck, you may just inspire, even if you inspire one person. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah.
Like how many people, they're older. And I mean, I gave birth at 45 and that was really cut off. I said, hey, wait a minute. But how many women, are past that particular age and they're like, oh, I should have, perhaps I could have. So I didn't want to have any regrets that, oh, shucks, I should have given a shot. Even if it didn't work, at least I knew that I tried. It's not trying that will kill you at the end, because you
100%.
can't.
100%.
Yeah. So
100%. Martha, when you
I'm
had
happy.
to go, Martha, when you had to go into the doctor's appointments with Melinda and they had to ask you these, very heavy questions, right? Of course, your answers are like, Doc, do you really have to ask me these questions? I mean, obviously it's okay. I'm doing this. Obviously, this is my sister. Obviously, I'm helping her out, but it's pretty wild, the procedures that you have to go through, right? The documentations that you have to sign. Was there any, I remember asking this, was there any sort of feeling of, okay, well, a regret, a change of mind, that is my egg. I mean, there's a part of me in that baby.
No, not at all. And actually, in fact, if during that time, if I had been married or that if I had been dating someone, then my partner would have had to be involved in the, therapy sessions to ensure that he or she would be okay with me donating my eggs to my sister. But thankfully I was single at the time, so that didn't have to get involved. Made it a little easier.
Thank God.
But no, I mean, they asked really severe questions on, how I would feel and how I would react. And, do I fully understand? Am I in sound state of mind of what I am doing? And, to ensure that I had absolutely no rights, to the baby once the baby would be born, and and so forth and so forth. So, they do ask serious stuff, and you do go through. I had a huge genetic and even psychological background testing to again make sure that I was of sound, mind of what I was
Wow.
doing. So it definitely, it's not just like, oh, here it is, you come take my eggs kind of thing. Like, it was a long process. Definitely, it took a lot of. First, it was more the psychological aspects of it, and then after that started the physicalness of testing me and where my levels were and so forth.
That's wild. That is interesting. I mean, you would never think that much process would go into it.
It did. And then I'm sorry to cut you off. I had one-on-one sessions, and then I had session with my sister together with the therapist. So yeah, it wasn't just a one-time session with the therapist, and then we did it again with my sister. So
how long did that whole procedure take before eggs were finally given?
I want to say we started in March, or actually no, March was when I agreed, and then in March is when we finally, for the first appointment, went to talk to the doctor and say, okay, here's my sister, here I am, I'll donate the eggs. And by the time from March, and by the time they retrieved the follicles from me, I think they retrieved it, I want to say mid-October-ish.
Oh, wow.
Like
So almost 6 months.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Because then, then you had the whole cycle of putting my sister and I on the same cycle. Like there was a lot of, it was a lot of strategical steps on the science part of syncing everything up, between my sister and I. And then, of course, all the hormone treatments I had to take and do, and injections and so forth, to precisely calculate what time exactly to retrieve the egg. So it was very fascinating. I had learned a lot on the science and medical part of it too.
So let me just take a pause for a second.
Sorry.
Martha, you have a daughter today, right? You have a child. Yeah. So after all this with Melinda happened and, eggs were retrieved for her, then when did you take on your own personal journey?
It's funny how life works out. I want to say about a month after I did the egg retrieval, I had met my husband.
Oh my God.
We started dating, and we were both at the stage in our lives where, we did want to have kids, just not right away yet. We kind of wanted to just enjoy life. And I was on birth control, actually, again, because we didn't want to rush into it. But lo and behold, how life works, 6 months after we started dating, I became pregnant while being on birth control. I guess, I was that 1% chance of getting pregnant. And so 6 months later, I was pregnant. So then my sister and I ended up being pregnant at the same time.
That's incredible. That's incredible. By the way, is it true that the younger sister always has the easiest time getting pregnant? Is that true?
I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I don't know.
It just appears.
It just may appear that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was certainly easier for my sister than for me. But Melinda, I have a question, and I know that there's a lot of women out there that probably will ask the same thing, and that is, you were very lucky to have your sister, become your donor. That's amazing, right? What if you didn't have that route? What are other routes that women can take to receive eggs and, of course, a sperm and all that? What are some of the other routes that you would suggest? In your experience, what would you suggest?
The connection is a little bit bad, but if I understand you correctly, you're asking what are the routes women can take in order to become single parents, if I heard you correctly.
Not necessarily single parents, but what's another route? You were very lucky to have. Oh, we lost her again. Okay. So Martha, speaking on behalf of your sister, do you know did the doctors talk to you about other routes?
Well, yeah, I mean, definitely. What other routes would be the same thing is they have sperm banks. They have also banks for where you can purchase eggs.
Got it. Okay, hang on. Let's bring her in.
Sure.
Okay, Melinda, you there? Melinda, you there?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I allowed again. I apologize.
Don't worry about it.
I'm on a 14th. It's kind of hard with the Wi-Fi here. I apologize.
No worries. So moving forward, what I wanted to ask you was, you were very lucky that you had your sister, right?
Yes.
Not a lot of people are as lucky as you to have that right hand and the closeness and here, let me just give you my eggs. And not a lot of people are like that. You rarely hear that kind of story. If you did not have that route, what did you think about other options?
Yes. Adopting, I did not want to do because I think that would have taken a whole nother lifetime just to be able to do that, especially because I wanted an infant. I wanted a baby. I didn't, care for a teenager or 6 or 7 year old. And I really wanted the whole experience. I wanted that baby growing in my belly and, my nose swelling up and my body filling out. And so, yes, I would have purchased eggs. Because truthfully, I mean, I'm very happy. My sister gave me her eggs because the DNA is in my daughter. I see my daddy, I see my sister, I see myself, I see a little bit of the donor in her. But if it wasn't my sister, at this point, I didn't even care what my baby looked like. So as long as she came out of my belly or he came out of my belly, but the fact that my sister was able to gift me this gift of life, essentially, right? It's like I see our entire Marton family in her sweet face. But yes, there's a lot of women in this world who are not to have children. And I believe you have to be fairly young. I think 35 or 32 is the cutoff where you can actually, NYU Langone, I can't praise them enough. NYU Langone Fertility Center. And so every morning I would go, because every third day I had to go in for blood work, just to make sure where I was, et cetera, et cetera. I would see another corridor around the corner from my seating area where these young ladies were going in and coming out, and I didn't know what's going on. They were giving eggs, yes,
Oh,
for
wow.
those of us who needed this help, right?
Right, right, right.
So when you looked at the lobby of NYU Langone, there was no color boundary. That it didn't matter the color of your skin, the shape, size. There were also the same sex couples, but everybody was there for the one thing and one thing only, to have a baby.
Right,
I mean, it was the most like
right.
amazing United Nations lobby there. It was just amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How was your pregnancy?
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. I don't think I've ever felt as beautiful as it was when I was pregnant with Serafina,
That's true.
Did you find
On the
out
way to
when you were pregnant and you found out you were pregnant many, 13 weeks, 14 weeks later, when you feel comfortable to tell people you're pregnant, did you find out the gender?
Oh yes, I mean they're real, so you kind of knew what they were putting in.
Got it. Right, sure.
But
Of course.
so I mean, I would have loved a boy. It doesn't matter, but deep down inside, I always wanted a little girl. And so when I found out, I was just even more. I think, even thinking back at it, as you can see, I can't stop smiling. That joy, that fulfillment, that thank you, God, finally. I mean, I used to find myself walking down the street, and if I saw a lady, pushing a stroller with two kids, and she had a baby in her belly, and a child to her left and a child to her right, like I used to think, can I approach her and tell her, look, I'll give you my entire 401k. Can I just have one child? I mean, that's how, you know. So I can't thank God and the universe that I finally was gifted my. I would do it all over again. The joy that she's brought me and everything.
Martha, Martha, when you hear Melinda talking, right? And I mean, this must be years later, right, guys? You're sharing your story. Obviously, this was years ago. For me, this is the first time I'm hearing about something like this. Martha, when you hear your sister talk about the joy of being pregnant, the desire to be pregnant, and the joy and how she's so grateful that she has a daughter today, but that's all because of you, right? I mean, that's huge.
Um,
The gift that you were able to give this woman who happens to be your sister, that's huge. Do you realize that? Do you know how
no,
big that is?
no, I don't actually, because again, I don't, because she's my sister. She's my best friend. She's my soulmate. Like, I would do anything for her, as I know she would do anything for me. So no, I guess I don't really realize how giant or how big this gift is. Just as when I'm with my niece, I don't look at her like, oh, my egg. I don't. I look at her like my niece. She's, my sister's daughter, and that's it. I never look at it that way, like, oh, it's my egg, or oh, it's because of me. I don't. She's my niece, and I love her,
Right, right, right.
and
No,
I'm just
that's
happy that she was able to have a baby, because I know how much she wanted it.
that's it. That's huge, right? That's just a huge gift to be able to give to someone. I mean, that's I don't know if I'll give my eggs to somebody. I don't know if I'm able to anymore. But I just know that if I'm able to make a difference in someone's life, right, I want to be able to do that. If I'm able to bring a joy or a smile to someone's face and also have them see things differently, I want to be able to do that. I know that I personally come from a culture where we're very traditional, right? The Indian thinking is very traditional. Um, I remember growing up, very traditional. You go to school, get an education, get married once you're out of school, get married very young in life, and either an arranged marriage or if you happen to meet someone, but mostly arranged marriage. And then, that's just sort of how life is supposed to be. Then you have children and then you care for it. I mean, I had always thought that that is what happened. That did not happen that way. And I remember growing up, there were celebrities that were having children. Like they were never getting married, but they were, they either adopted kids or they got pregnant through a surrogate or something. So I always just thought that was just for celebrities, right? Because they were able to make that happen. They had the money to make that happen. And they were celebrities. So I think anything goes. It is only, in the last, I want to say 10 years when my brain opened up to be like, it's not just for celebrities, right? This is for anybody who's out there that wants to be a parent. It's possible. You just have to have the right mindset. And what society is going to say, what people will say, all of that stuff is going to be there. But it really is what is it that you want inside of yourself. So my question for you, Melinda, is when you were going through this process, and for both of you, so both of you, actually, Melinda and Martha, for both of you, when you were going through this process, were you at all worried what society would say? What would your outside family members said? You have the support of your mom, you have the support of your sisters, which is the two main, really, in my opinion, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need anyone else's opinion and support because you got the foundation right there. And that's all that matters. Were you at all worried about what
Right.
others would say? No.
Marty, you want to go?
I
No,
always
absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can actually say for the first time in my life, I'm very hard on myself. And we come from a very strict background, Roman Catholic. Daddy had the iron fist, etc., etc. I grew up in communism, yes. For the first time in my life, I was proud of myself. I didn't need someone else's validation to say, hey, Melinda, you're doing good. I actually would look in the mirror and say, wow, you did this. You did this by yourself. And it's the best thing and the only wow thing that I've done in my life. I can honestly say that.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Martha, were you at all worried about what someone might say?
No, I mean, I've always lived my life of I live it the way I want to live it. Nobody gets a say in it. And I'm usually more of the I really don't care what people think. I'm just going to do it the way I see fit.
Right, right. No. So back to, I that's the way, you grew up. And then over the years, my mindset changed, right? My outlook changed. You meet so many people and their circumstances and their stories. And some people I know that never had children because they were never married, but they always did want to have kids. So I always just looked at it like, well, whatever is supposed to happen is going to happen. And I remember, like I shared with you earlier, I did have that conversation with my family because that I started to go down that route going, if it doesn't happen sooner than later, I'm going to have to start thinking differently in order for something in my life to change. And I think that's what I personally think that's what people need to do, right? Is to think differently. We're in a world today where things don't always happen the way they're supposed to. And I'm sure that always, even in my mom's time and your mom's time, that happened. And you just make the best of the situation that we're in. And then you have to make these decisions. I think there's no right or wrong place, when these decisions are made, right? I mean, Melinda, you have a job, obviously. You have, you're an independent woman, you're financially stable. There's all those elements that I don't necessarily need someone else, to, if I had a partner in life, fantastic, right? But I can do this on my own and to step up into that, right? Into those shoes to be like, I can do this on my own takes a lot of big guts to make that happen for sure. I think it's incredible what you two have done. So now what's the age difference between both your kids?
3 months.
Oh
3
my
months.
God. So your mom, the grandmother, was very busy with you two, obviously, with
So
both babies at the same time. That's amazing, you guys, to be able to be pregnant almost at the same time, to be able to have babies
Yes.
almost at the same time, to hang out with one
I
another
wish I
with
had
your babies.
yeah.
I wish I had a photo handy. I forgot to dig it up. There's a photo where I was at the hospital in the lobby waiting to go in to get induced because Serafina didn't want to come out. And we're both in the lobby with big bellies next to each other. I had my full on curl. I did my makeup. I was getting ready to give birth. I was so excited. I even took a subway ride to the hospital. I didn't take a taxi. And on the subway ride, people wanted to give me their seats. I said, "Oh no, thank you. No, I'm going to give birth. I'm going to give birth. I'm so excited." The whole subway was like,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, I didn't have time to get ready.
No. my sister my sister was always ready. I mean, even like she said on the subway ride in, she was like a little girl, like a little kid, just so excited, over the moon. She was very, very excited. We all were excited.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're waiting and anticipating to meet this beautiful baby.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I didn't have time to get ready. I think my water broke and it was, I don't know what time it was. I didn't care the contractions and the pain.
Uh,
I didn't really care to put lipstick on. I'm like, I don't care. This hurts. But of course, in my head, I would have liked to get a manicure and I'm going to the hospital now. Let's do this. Um, no, ladies, I want to say thank you very much. It takes a lot of guts to be able to share your personal story with someone. And I really hope that whoever has listened to your story today is inspired to think differently, think out of the box, and to see that there's the possibilities, right? There's endless possibilities of, of wanting to reach a goal. It may not go the route that you may want it. It may, but there's different possibilities of reaching that end goal. The end goal is what, and then to work backwards to be like, what are the different ways that I can get there?
Absolutely.
I think it's amazing, Martha, that you have this big heart to be able to help your sister out. Very lucky that you guys were able to make this happen for one another, because of you two and your bond and your strength. You both were just able to be there for one another. And I think that's amazing. I have a very strong bond with my sister, and we have kids around the same age. So it's been super fun to not only hang out with my sister and her kids and me and my kids, all around the same age. It's pretty awesome to be able to go through this journey with her as well. I really want to thank you guys for being here, Melinda, with all of the connections that we've had, the internet connections. I hope people have been able to resonate with you. And guys, if you're out there, please know that there's endless possibilities to an end goal. There's not just one way to make it happen.
Absolutely.
Ladies, I really hope you have a blast today with whatever you do the rest of the day.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much as well. Bye bye.
I am just wanting to just chime in and just say thank you so much once again. If you did not get to listen to this story live, at least share it with us. At least share it with your friends, please. Somebody will need to hear this in some way, shape, or form. Wherever you are in life, whether you are going through wanting to get pregnant or starting a new job or starting a new business or getting married or whatever it is, there are endless possibilities to make a goal happen. And I want you to keep that in mind. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for chiming in. I'll see you guys later.